Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go watch a movie with PJ. Lord, and he's always glad you came. You wanna be where you could see our troubles are all the same. You wanna go and watch a movie with PJ.
Well, happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to the PJ Campbell Network. You know, I never get tired of hearing that intro. Sometimes I do get tired of thinking about how maybe the potato makes things better, but at the same time, we're getting through it, and it's just working out really well, and I'm happy to have you guys here today. It's going to be a lot of fun. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Max, can you take over real quick? I've got to deal with this.
Yeah, I suppose I can. Welcome to our, 33rd? Is it the 33rd watch along? Something like that. Somewhere in the early to mid 30s on the PJ Campbell Network. As you can see on our left, man deals with his noisy dogs. But there's a lot of exciting things going on the network over the next few days. On Monday, Brad Bird Month will come to its close with a double feature of The Incredibles and The Incredibles 2. Hopefully, Evan Degraff will actually be there for that, because the whole reason we did Brad Bird Month was for him, and he couldn't even bother to show up tonight. So if you're listening, Evan, we're all a little upset at you. And then we will have a brand new episode of Famous Last Words, also hosted by Evan Degraff on Tuesday. We don't know who the guest is yet, but he promises us there's going to be an episode. Now, if you were around for Family Game Night a couple weeks ago and you saw the debacle, the disaster, the room on fire that was Family Feud, oh boy, do I have news for you. On Saturday, we are doing it again. Family Feud 2.
Who thought this was a good idea?
You did.
No, I had nothing to do with this, actually.
Well, Evan Degraff will be hosting. Chris Clark, who looks quite dapper in that tie and leather jacket over there on the right, will be the judge. We have surveyed 30 different people from in the PJ Campbell Network and Schmodown and ancillary communities to get some really spicy answers, not just the same old boring ones you might find on that show hosted by that guy with the mustache. But no, Steve Harvey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then August is Monster Month. We have some amazing things planned, starting with Cloverfield Watch Along. And we'll be watching Chris Clark's favorite movie of all time, King Kong from 1933. We'll be doing the first ever foreign language watch along on the PJ Campbell Network with Bong Joon-ho's excellent 2006 monster extravaganza, The Host. If you haven't seen it, it's a favorite of mine. You need to be there. The movie's a blast. And then we'll be rounding it all out with a double feature of Godzilla 98 and one of PJ's favorite movies, Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim. And on that show, Sean Sully Sullivan will be a special guest watching along with us. And then,
so good.
After some delays, this upcoming week, we're finally going to have the Suddenly soundtracks of Newsies, which I think is super cool because Kevin Smets is on it. And if you don't know this, little baby Kevin Smets was in the Newsies movie. So I'm sure he's going to have lots of exciting insight about being in that movie and the songs. It's also with Robert Parker and Kristen Smith and, of course, host Chris Clark. Now, if you don't like looking at our faces, because sometimes I don't like looking at my own face, we can find all the shows in audio-only format on Spotify and iTunes. The PJ Campbell Show, Famous Last Words, Front Center Mezzanine, Suddenly Soundtracks, Something Rotten, which hasn't happened in a long time, and the watch-along. So if you just want to put on the movie and use the watch-alongs off of Spotify and iTunes like a regular commentary you might find on a Blu-ray or DVD, you can do that. If you missed it last night, we had a truly scintillating episode of Front Center Mezzanine with our guest Heath Saunders. We covered a wide variety of topics, some a little lighter like theater and horror films, and then we dive deep into issues like systemic racism and how it applies to theater and gender identity. It was a really fascinating 2-hour deep dive into the mind of Heath Saunders, and I think their mind is positively spectacular. So you don't want to miss that.
And then best friends with Heath. I just want to say that it was the best time, and I just want to be best friends.
Now, one final thing before we bring in our guests. I'm sure you've heard about it, but if you haven't, hashtag Scary Movie Squad. September is Slasher Month. October is Horror Month. We're bookending it on September 4th with the original Halloween and finishing it on Halloween itself with a double feature of Trick or Treat and Halloween 2018. And we have some really cool guests throughout this month. Mark Riley, Tim Franco. I heard William Bibiani may be joining us for a couple of these. And who knows who else may show up. So you're going to want to be there throughout the entire month because I don't know about you, PJ, but I don't think we're going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't either, which is kind of why we did all this to begin with,
Universal Studios announced they were not holding Halloween Horror Nights this year for the first time in 30 years. I can't say I'm surprised by it, but it's just every day there's a new sign that things are not the way they used to be.
Yeah, so come and hang out with us in our, horror maze, if you will, of fun through September and October, because that was kind of the point. And, we have a guest who might be a part of all of that, who's with us tonight. And that is our friend Theresa. Welcome back, Theresa.
Hi, thanks for having me. I feel like I've finally at this point gone from who to, oh, that chick. So step up in the right direction.
I think it's definitely the step in the right direction. We're always happy to have you here. You guys came in clutch, and how could I not have you on Tomorrowland? A movie that, for a lot of reasons is not necessarily always beloved, but I also think offers more than people give it credit for. So I'm excited. And, we're all Disney Park fans here. So having you here only made sense.
Yeah, I think the movie is entrenched in some of the lore and mythology of Walt Disney himself. And who better than someone who actually hosts a Disney Parks podcast to be on this episode?
Yeah.
Right? So, that was as soon as PJ asked, I was like, yes, I will be right there.
Well, we can also say now, I gave Theresa the heads up the moment that we locked the Scary Movie schedule. She's going to be here for Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which I'm
so excited. That is the very first DVD I ever bought. I watched that movie at a very inappropriately young age. So I should not have seen it when I did, but I fell in love with it. So I can't wait to watch the movie with everybody.
Yeah, I am thrilled. I think there's so much stuff to look forward to. And I mean, we were talking off mic early before you guys got on, could see us talking, but there's some stuff you're going to be real excited about that's going to be announced coming up soon too, that fans will be excited. But, we got one more person here tonight, and, he's got a Schmodown match I hear coming up. He might be a new talent. We don't know. He could lose in the first round. We never know what's going to happen here. But James White is back.
I think he's pretty bad, and I'll probably. Oh, hi. Sorry. Hi.
Oh, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. I've first I got to win to get into the first round, so we'll see what happens there. But no, I do have a match coming up, so I'm excited, nervous, a lot of pressure. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm happy to be here with you. Find people, and you find people in the chat.
Yeah, I mean,
I also enjoyed. I did see that. Yeah, James and I had body swapped for a second there.
Yeah, I didn't know how that.
It's happened. Freaky Friday.
I was gonna say
another Disney classic in so many regards. But James, this is the first time you've actually seen this movie.
Yeah, it's one that I've been meaning to watch for a while. I do own the movie, and it's come up where I tried to watch it one day, something came up, I had to take it out and go do something, and I just didn't go back to it. But I'm a fan of Brad Bird as a filmmaker. I'm a fan of Tomorrowland as a place. So these two should kind of coalesce pretty well.
That's the dream, at least, and the hope. And, I think it's almost better that you're seeing it after everyone's kind of talked it to death in a way, because now you'll kind of go in with your own. You've heard what people think, but now you can take a fresh perspective, because, I mean, it was today you watched a couple of the Terminator sequels for the first time that you'd heard people talk endlessly badly about, and you were like, they weren't that bad.
No. I think Terminator 3 was a pretty okay movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It was
great sound effects.
Oh, yeah. Boing.
Maybe not so much the sound effects, but, outside of that, before we begin, guys, just want to remind you, we do have a Streamlabs account. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat. That just helps us keep the lights on, and maybe one day we can all travel to Disneyland together when this is all said and done, because who knows when all this is going to end. So Tomorrowland is streaming for free, apparently on Freeform if you have Freeform. So if you have it pulled up, or if you own it, at this point, we're going to go ahead and count down from 5. As soon as I say go, we're going to hit play. We're all going to watch it together, and we're going to enjoy Brad Bird's Tomorrowland, which was also co-written by Damon Lindelof of Watchmen and Lost
And The Leftovers.
The Leftovers and Cowboys and Aliens fame. Damon Lindelof, that guy. So if you guys are ready, let's count this down and let's watch the movie. What say you, panel?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's go.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Now, did you guys start with the black screen, or did you go right to the castle?
I'm on the castle now.
Okay, so you started with this film has been modified?
No.
Okay. Just
I
making
love
sure that
this
I
version of
started
the castle, by the way.
Well,
Like-
I love how with the live actions, they always tailor it more so to the movie.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, the little guy in the jetpack is pretty cool.
I just love how futuristically kind of steampunky it also looks.
I just want to say right out the gate how, and this is always the case, Michael Giacchino wrote an amazing score for this movie.
Yeah, I can
kinda-
really hear it.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Toy Story music a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like Buzz Lightyear when you first see him and stuff like that. So kind of cool. It's weird to see George Clooney in a family film like this, by the way. Can we just point that out the gate? Hey, Frank. Good to see you. Hey.
So yeah, I think I've seen the first 10 minutes of this and then had to turn it off.
I remember being at D23 when this was originally announced.
Yeah, I was at a New York Comic Con panel for it, and it was a Thursday afternoon, and the panel that wasn't well attended. And then George Clooney and Brad Bird showed up, and the limited people went nuts. So that was fun.
Yeah. I'll say this. I think they built a very interesting world in why he's trying so hard to change things because it feels so much like what we actually deal with. Like it's definitely built off of the current climate.
I'm getting a lot of buffering issues. This is going to be fun.
Well, that's not good, James. Are you sure it's not Britt Robinson just interrupting your feed every single time?
Yeah.
Patty says she remembered being so excited for this movie when the trailer dropped. I did.
I was too.
There was like Disney held like through social media like a real world Clue hunting game.
Hey, it's me.
And they sent like a limited number of vinyl records with songs and clues on it, and Liz was able to get one of them that we still have.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Carousel of Progress song.
I actually worked at Disneyland when they were shooting these sequences.
That's awesome.
Or that's Flushing Corona Park, which is actually like a mile away from Citi Field where the Mets play.
Yep.
And
that's where the aliens land in Men in Black.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And
right now.
all of these grounds now are where the Billie Jean King Tennis Center is, where the U.S. Open is held. So you can go like any day, take the train out there and see the fountains and just hang around.
Remember when the last time we were there, it was pouring down rain?
I do.
That was quite the day.
The good old Hugh Laurie. Always a pleasure to see him in a movie.
Yeah, I'm well behind you guys now.
Yeah, I think Freeform is having some issues.
Yeah, are you buffering like every 2 seconds too?
And now it's just stopped.
We'll keep you guys in the loop as it keeps going.
Yes. Hold on. I'm going to stop it and refresh and then get a time. Which is sad because this is my favorite part of the movie.
It is one of the best parts, that is, for sure. It's actually nice to hear Hugh Laurie using his British voice for once.
Yeah, you get it in this and 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah. But if you watched House for 8 seasons, he was definitely more American, and that was confusing. I really like the little like back and forth that they have. This is a little Rocketeer-esque, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Him with the jetpack and stuff, just. That poor child. Poor Frank. That is like this movie in a nutshell. That line right there, where Laurie's like, "Tell me you can do better than fun," and that's like everything about what we're fighting right now when it comes to entertainment and stuff like that. That sometimes being inspired is just about being fun too, and I find that fascinating.
Oh, this is frustrating.
Why is fun bad?
Okay, mine seems to be working now. So what is your time?
We are at. I am at 16, 17.
Okay, I'm like slightly behind you from where I assumed, so I'm good. I'll try this.
I'm gonna try it again.
Poor James right now.
It's like every 2 seconds. It's almost like it's just pixelated. It's going.
Never give up, never surrender.
Wrong movie.
Or right movie.
All right, where are we at?
Let me.
At 6:47.
Yeah, I'm about to hit 7 minutes now. Yeah, I remember what a big deal it was when they were making this because the sequences coming up, especially for Disney fans and stuff, they were like,
that's why I'm glad I jumped back in before this part.
Yeah.
The score.
I know. I have this pin somewhere too.
Yeah, I have. They gave them to us at that panel I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we also bought them at the Disney parks because the ones from the panel were a little cheaper made.
Yeah, I have one from the parks too. But I remember seeing everyone in their garb because this was shot not long after Saving Mr. Banks, also, which also shot in the park. So it was kind of cool that both of them at the time were shooting there and things like that. And I
really like Saving Mr. Banks. That movie.
I do too.
That movie makes me sob like a little baby.
Mm-hmm. And I got to watch this movie.
That guy right there who was the operator was Michael Giacchino. It was like you have to wait for the next boat.
I never realized that until you said that.
I didn't realize it either, and then I saw him. I'm like, who is that? Oh yeah, that's Giacchino.
This is that the one in Disneyland, the Small World in Disneyland, right there?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll say it looks like it.
Yeah, and so I actually got to see this in the downtown Disney theater, which was kind of fun too because you're like, we shot this right, next to us.
Now this song is going to be stuck in my head for a month.
And everyone else in the chat too. So, good luck with that.
That's okay. I'll just go back to Hamilton right after this.
Yeah.
I don't mind the song. I know I'm in the minority.
I'll just go back and listen to Folklore again.
I always thought this was very cool, by the way. Like, the whole idea that this...
So cool.
And again, I think speaking to what we were talking about earlier is it really lives in Walt in like his in Disney inspiring people, right? And the idea that this is how they would get to Tomorrowland is going into It's a Small World.
Well, there's a lot of critics or pundits who have made comparisons to this movie and some of other Brad Bird's work to Anne Ryan Ayn Rand, excuse me. And I think that misses it. I think he's more an acolyte of like the true like goals of Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Of a better community for everyone, where everyone is working together to make things for the betterment of all and not selfishly for their own interests.
God, wouldn't that be nice right now?
Yeah, right. So, certainly anything is up to whatever interpretation anyone wants to, but I disagree with that. This movie is objectivist. It's Disneyist.
Yeah. I mean, Disneyist is really the way to look at it. And like Disney may be to some people a multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar greedy company, but at the same time, the ideals that the man himself set forward,
right?
I
was speaking more to like his as a man, his goals, not necessarily the company. And sure, he had some problems. There was some casual anti-Semitism, but
but he was about the betterment of the world and pushing forward. And
then again, he did work nonstop with the Sherman brothers, who are Jewish. So who knows? It's all hearsay at this point. But
we should just ask Walt's Frozen Head one day, right?
Sounds like a good name for a cocktail, Walt's Frozen Head.
Theresa, apparently you're not.
It's a frozen beer,
by the way.
There we go. See, it's a classic.
I like this kid actor. He was also in The Switch, which I think is a really nice little movie with Jason Bateman.
Yeah. He and I looked remarkably alike at one point. There's a picture of me standing next to a picture of him, and it looks like he's my miniature.
Honestly, if you shaved your face, you would look identical now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only difference is the facial hair.
Isn't that ridiculous when you think about it?
Mm.
The sadness in his face right there. It's just so palpable. And then this.
Robots.
His face, man. Like, you can really just feel both the terror and yet the wonder all the same that he feels. It's a very Spielberg-esque moment, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. For some reason, my mind just thought, use your jetpack, Turbo Man.
Nobody likes you, Booster.
That movie is classic, guys. We don't talk bad about Jingle All the Way in this house.
I unapologetically like that movie.
I need to look this up.
I love that the robot is like, I can fix this for you. Even the robots in the future are more helpful than actual humans right now.
Yeah, that wouldn't have happened in Terminator.
No. It puts the helmet on him. And it gives him a thumbs up. Why don't we use that GIF more often for thumbs ups, you guys? Everyone uses the BB-8 one, but that robot was pretty cute doing it too.
And now he looks like Carl Fredricksen.
Yes.
Not wrong. I've never gone skydiving, so I don't know if actually swimming through the air really works or not.
I would love to go skydiving.
I want to go.
No.
I'm not afraid of heights at all.
I am, but I would do skydiving before I would go bungee jumping.
I would go bungee jumping too. No problem.
Bungee jumping, I can see the ground. I don't want to do that one.
That's a good point.
Skydiving, you do eventually also see the ground.
Yeah, but
by then I've already
yeah. There's no turning back. This movie is only 5 years old. It feels like it should be older than that.
Yeah.
But the effects are real nice.
It still feels very timeless, man.
Well, yeah, it has almost an Art Deco-y type feel to it. It's very it went in a direction with its sci-fi city that will feel timeless. There's nothing that'll date it.
Yeah.
As opposed to the actual Tomorrowlands.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Well,
I think had this movie done better, it would have become closer to this aesthetic and feel, but then the movie bombed.
It's hard to talk about this movie without talking about Disney parks. So hopefully in Florida, once the Tron ride is done, they'll.
I think that'll help. But like some of this imagery does remind me of like the older Tomorrowlands, like like Tomorrowland '67. Like you go way back and look at some of that.
For
like
some reason, it also reminds me of like the concept art and stuff for Epcot.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they looked to that for inspiration.
That's what I was going to say. Is I think that it was very obvious that was what Brad Bird was very much paying homage to, and trying to adhere to. Like, he really does have a respect for the Disney parks and all of that. So,
I believe they had like unfettered access to the Disney archives.
I believe so.
Can I get
That's
that?
a life goal of mine.
Mike says it sucks that this movie bombed because I really like seeing Brad Bird playing in live action. I do too. I think we'll see more of that regardless. I mean, no reason to bench him over this,
Yeah, I think we were talking the other night. Like, he'd be perfect for an MCU movie or Star Wars if they want to give him one of those.
Yeah.
He's already in the family, so I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I
would love to see him do a live action Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I would think he'd be great for Fantastic Four,
as opposed to the other Fantastic Fours that are live action.
Well, his is an animated Fantastic
The
Four.
Incredibles is very Fantastic Four.
I was just giving you shit because there's 3 well, technically 4 if we count Roger Corbin's also.
Yeah.
Shout out to Judy Greer for being the parent who's barely in the movie again.
Yep. I mean, any movie. I should have wore my shirt that says Judy Greer should have been the lead. Any movie she's in gets an instant plus for me.
Yeah, so my movie just rewound.
Mine did too.
What?
I went back to 12 minutes.
Oh,
Yes.
gosh.
Where are you guys at?
16,
Yeah.
40 right now.
That happened to you too. I was like, what just went on?
I
Okay, so
think that your guys-
Freeform is not a great streaming platform, as we're learning right now.
I think that your guys' computers are both cursed.
We're not even on the same cable network.
No.
It's like I have Comcast Xfinity.
I've got Verizon.
Yeah.
Burbank.
And I'm frozen.
Poor James is just having the worst time with this. Judy Greer is everyone's mom. I mean, not
Where's
wrong.
the lie?
Yeah. Patty said the pauses keep getting me because for a second I think my movie froze.
We're just getting the actual freezing. Like, so I'm having the same experience, but different.
Yeah.
The same, but different. It's weird to hear like very modern rock music in almost any Disney movie that I watch ever. I don't know why, but Disney doesn't exactly feel like the rock type thing.
Yeah, but PJ, you're supposed to know her character is a bad girl.
It's true.
She's doing trouble.
She's doing all the trouble right now.
James looks so frustrated.
Hey, James, I'll buy you a Corona later to make
What's
up.
that?
I'll buy you a Corona later to make up for it.
A Corona?
Yeah.
Not a virus.
You
Not
can
the
have
virus,
you can have any beer you want
as
long as it's a Corona.
I don't know.
Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
2001, Schmodown. What a thing for me to know.
Like you.
We're going to make those into t-shirts one day.
Yes.
We're talking about potentially having a T-Public store.
I would wear that shirt.
Mike K says you might want to rent the movie on YouTube if Freeform keeps giving you trouble.
Wait,
I'm not
James,
paying
you
for
own
this
the
when I
movie. You
I
own
do
it.
own the
Just
movie.
reach behind you.
Really, James?
The problem is that everybody can always hear my TV,
That's fair.
no matter how low it is.
Isn't there a digital code in it?
No.
Oh. I thought the pause was dramatic for the irony of their actually was.
Me too, to be honest. I thought he was gonna be like, "Oh shit."
Identify yourself. This is the second watch along we've done with this kid now because he was also in Looper.
I was gonna say this is a kid from Looper,
Yeah.
and he looks a lot like the other kid from this movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
He does. I know what things are.
What a thing for you to know, James. No, don't say that's my line. Theresa can say it. You can't. You can't steal someone else's line.
Okay.
What has Britt Robinson really done lately?
She was on a Shonda Rhimes legal TV show for a couple years called For the People that I liked but got canceled. That's what she's been busy doing. But she looks so much like Sabrina Carpenter to me.
Yeah, she does.
So much. I always confuse them because Sabrina Carpenter was on Girl Meets World. And up until Broadway shut down, she was starring in Mean Girls on Broadway.
She was also in one of last year's best movies, The Hit You Give.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they look very similar.
Oh, was she the bitchy blonde girl in that movie?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like Britt Robinson. I think she's good.
Yeah, I do too.
There's another movie she's in that I like. Let's see. I'm going to look it up.
I think she deserves to have a bigger career. I just think she's very talented. So that's why I had to ask. It just seems so strange to me that
Well,
she...
All right, DVD.
2 seasons of a TV show, you get your time gets busy.
Right.
Oh, that's right. She was the star of The Secret Circle on the CW, which only lasted, and she's in the opening of Scream 4.
Oh, that's right. She is. She totally is.
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. Kale says I would love to see Brad Bird do an episode of The Mandalorian.
That's a great idea.
Oh, that's right. She's in I Still Believe. She's the co-lead with Archie.
Oh, is that her?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yes. I heard that movie did really well on VOD.
I did too. I haven't seen it. To be honest, I don't really go in for a lot of the faith-based movies. That's not really my bag, but
I have heard that this one is less and I don't mean to offend anyone, but less Jesus-y than some of the other ones.
that gets no offense to anyone watching. That gets my vote then. I also like Aaron Denise, so I'll check it out.
Ah, good old Tim McGraw.
Yep. Mike says she's terrific in the movie, by the way.
Every time he shows up in a movie, I'm like, oh yeah, he's a really good actor.
It doesn't even look like him. Like he disappears for me. In a good way.
And of course, his dad was on the Mets.
That's true. Mike says, I'm not a big fan of faith-based films either, but I support the 2 leads. Okay. I mean, we do stand for AJ Kappa in this house, even though I think Riverdale is a mess now.
Oh.
She's also in A Dog's Purpose?
Now I'm reading up about Tim and Tug McGraw, and apparently Tug McGraw had sex with a woman once and broke off contact with her and then didn't acknowledge Tim as his son until Tim was 17.
Oh, dear God.
Time.
So,
welcome back, James.
Time check.
23, 54, 55,
Okay.
56, 57.
Hang on.
And the time check is helpful for me too, because even though mine hasn't stopped, it does keep pausing, so I end up like 20 seconds behind you guys. So I'm like, I wait for you to say things and then jump ahead.
Okay, give me the time again. 24 what?
24, 16, 17, 8.
All right, I'm 2 seconds behind, so I think that'll work.
1984. What's considered fiction is fiction conducted
There we go.
That is so all of us right now in the world being like, there's all this bad shit going on. Why are we just not fixing things? Britt Robinson is all of us.
I'm not that attractive, but
I disagree, sir.
oh, thanks, hon. Yeah, that's true. She is very Hermione in that scene.
Hopefully, it's not picking up my TV too badly.
Gosh, you're so loud.
It's on like 7 when I normally listen to things on like 20, but my microphone just picks it up for some reason.
We're gonna get you a new mic, guys. You guys support us on Streamlabs so we can get James a new mic. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the,
Dude, I have a nice mic. I have a nice Yeti, but it picks up
We
everything.
need to support getting him like a second monitor.
Yeah, that's what I need.
I need one of those too, because you guys can't see it. I literally am on my MacBook, and half the screen is me looking at you guys, and the other half is a tiny version of the movie.
Me too.
Yeah. 5 years before the pandemic, she was all of us. This is facts. Hey, Beeman's Gum.
Rocketeer.
Indeed, sir. There's more Rocketeer references in this movie than I remembered. That feels intentional.
That is an accurate Florida driver's license, by the way.
I know it's not that hard to do that because it's just editing, but it's a really cool effect when she touches the pin and she's in the wheat field.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what that was in the teaser? Like how cool that was?
Oh, yeah. That was when I was
she
like,
freaked out right there. She looked just like Karen Gillan in Jumanji.
Yeah, a little bit. Crowdfunding. Yes, that is what we do. Crowdfunding with the Streamlabs. It helps us get new equipment and keep the lights on.
Ooh, I don't know, Mike. I don't know if I want a reboot of The Rocketeer.
They're making a sequel on Disney Plus, apparently.
I thought they were just doing the cartoon.
No, there's a sequel in development.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'd be curious. But I'm circling it right now. I'd have to look. Yeah, her running into the wall is so good. I know. Homeland Security. What a weird cast. Like, again, Britt Robinson, George Clooney, Hugh Laurie, Tim McGraw, and the girl that Clooney's character was hanging out with at the beginning. I recognize her too. Is she done anything since this?
which girl?
The one that Frank meets when he's young, who
Oh.
gives him the pin. Frankie, or not Frank. Maxwell has become the information guru.
Mm. She was in The Killing of a Sacred Deer and Vox Lux. And that's about it.
Wow,
Was she the daughter in Box Lux?
must have been.
She was young Celeste.
Oh.
So when you saw Natalie Portman as a... Oh, no, she also played the daughter. Yeah. But she hasn't done that much.
Yeah, Mike said the same thing. She was in Vox Lux. Patty says she loves the concept of the pen. It's basically super high-tech VR. And yeah, I kind of love that about it.
Yeah, I want one.
A real one, not just like a replica.
Yes.
I just love how this keeps playing out. You know, it just is so cool.
This movie has, well, I guess it's the other way around, but some similarities to Midnight Special.
Oh yeah, I could see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, I can see that a little bit.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I need to rewatch that.
Ow. Ouch.
I'm so confused now.
Middle of the night. Tim McGraw. It's upset.
Hey man, it's the worst getting woken up in the middle of the night when you weren't expecting to be woken up in the middle of the night, okay?
Yeah, but if you can go back to sleep, it's the best.
Yeah, but sometimes you can't, and then it's the worst. And we all know that that's facts.
Oh, don't use a dirty sock. Also, who just takes their socks off and leaves them by their shoe?
A lot of people.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Relax, James. Stop insulting people. You don't know if the people that are watching with us do that, and you just insulted them.
I wasn't insulting. Just it's weird.
God, this score is just so good.
It is good.
I really don't know why I don't listen to it more. That was a great shot, by the way. This also it has an air of like the New York's World Fair and things like that I like too. Like the design really does feel similar to...
Well, remember, it started at the World's Fair.
Right, exactly. And that's what I like about this version of Tomorrowland, you know?
Oh man, I need one of those suits.
You probably do, James. I won't lie.
Well, Sam, we brought up Epcot earlier too, and it's kind of sad that what's going on with it, because I think a lot of the concept art that they had debuted for the reimagining of Epcot, it took a lot from some of the design and styles that they have in here. So
Yeah.
at one point, it was going to look very cool, and remains to be seen what will be left of that. But yeah, like we talked about, you know, it's all kind of interconnected how they try to find inspiration for it.
Well, the company's so big on synergy too, and so when they look at stuff like this, they get so excited, and then if it doesn't take off the way that they're hoping, they get cold feet too quick, in my opinion. Where it's like, by the way, this shot right here, that's clearly Space Mountain in the background.
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
It makes me so happy.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really am enjoying about this movie is like finding the little Easter eggs that people that aren't parks, fans or experts aren't going to pick up on. But those of us that go so often, it's like, oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. That looks like this, and they use it here. It's a monorail without a rail, so a zero rail. Oh, any of you guys ever get to ride in the front car of the monorail?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
When I was a kid, much younger.
Yeah. Sad they don't do it anymore.
That's awesome. I want to do that.
Patty was with us. She's like, Space Mountain. I love that we get a long shot of Space Mountain.
Yep.
All the concepts in this are so cool. Like, I think Brad Bird is much more visionary than he gets credit for as a filmmaker. I think that he always pushes whatever he's doing into new and interesting directions, even superhero movies before they were what superhero movies became.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Sorry, can you hear that?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize, guys. I didn't realize that my mic picked up that sound.
Hey,
Louder than James's TV.
I'll say, if mine's picking up the TV, we can hear you chew.
you never know. Some of our viewers may be into ASMR.
That was my bad, you guys. That was my bad. I'm sorry.
This
You're
was
worse
you.
than Evan.
I wasn't trying to. I was chewing so quietly. Mouth closed and everything.
Oh yeah, I need to get those pants.
I think your pants look hot.
Hey, Lawrence, I like you a lot.
Woo! Rocket ship. All the costume design is pretty cool too.
It really is. Again, I think Brad Bird doesn't get enough credit for the stuff.
It's like retro futuristic,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's what the future would have looked like when they were imagining things in the 60s.
which I like. I love that aesthetic.
Which was also tomorrow, like when they did
Right.
Tomorrowland and like all
Yeah.
the versions of it. That's what they were going for.
Yeah, Mike says this is gorgeous imagery. 5 years later, this holds up probably better than most big budget blockbusters, and I tend to agree. I love that shot too of like this counting down, and now it's like you're in water and you can't move very far and very quickly. It's just so fascinating to me.
In the middle of a lake.
Yep.
I hate waking up like that.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah, I hate when I've clearly been sleepwalking and end up in the middle of a lake and I had no idea how I got there.
Oh, look, it's a Castle Rock film.
Very niche reference that I understood. So very good, James.
Schmodown.
The best part about this is Blast from the Past is a real store in Burbank that I used to go to all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah,
When
I
I hear-
used to go over there a lot.
I hear that Blast from the Past. I think of that movie with
Brendan Fraser,
and Alicia
The Brendan Fraser
Silverstone.
movie. Yeah.
Christopher Walken. I like that movie.
when he sells his card in that movie, it makes me feel so
I haven't
sad.
seen that in so long.
That was one of the first DVDs I owned.
Yeah, me too. Remember it had one of the snap cases?
Yeah, it was a cardboard case. Yeah.
That would be a good double feature with that and Pleasantville.
Yeah.
I want to rewatch Pleasantville. I haven't thought about Blast from the Past in a long time.
You know, Pleasantville's great. It's got a
It
great
is.
cast. Shout out Jeff Daniels for that movie.
Rest in peace, Paul Walker.
Yep. And Reese and Toby are actually really, really good in that movie too.
I know we were talking about it a while ago, Max. Did you ever rewatch The Skulls?
No, I didn't. I want to. Every time I'm looking through, I think it's Showtime or something.
HBO, I believe.
HBO. It's yeah. I should watch it.
Which one?
The Skulls.
Mm,
I watched it so many times back when it first came out, and I rewatched it not long ago when me and Max were talking about it.
got it.
She hasn't aged a day.
It's at the cleaners.
What else did you say this kid was in? The boy?
Looper.
Yeah, Looper.
Okay.
And he's great in Looper.
Yeah.
He's terrifying. Her British voice is just so threatening.
Did the sign of the store look like that?
No. So they're using the store, but
So that's not the actual store.
no.
Shit. They should have used that sign. That's a cool sign.
Yeah, that's a cool store.
Yeah.
That's a rebel outfit from the movie Star Wars.
Oh, look, a stormtrooper from the movie
This-
Star Wars.
Kind of.
That was from Lost in Space.
Catherine Hahn, always a delight.
I just love her. I've seen her in like
He was
50
in
movies lately.
everything. Yeah, she's one of those people, like, once you realize who she is, then you see her in everything. Like, she
Yeah.
pops up everywhere.
And she's Doc. Oh no, is that a spoiler?
No, I don't think so.
She's in Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Did
She
any
plays
of you guys
Octavia in
see
Into the
that
Spider-Verse.
movie? Keegan Michael Key.
That music is so
Oh,
familiar. Where have I heard it before?
I don't know. Probably some crappy sci-fi fantasy franchise.
Sunwalk?
Yeah, sounds right.
Huh.
Did anyone see Paul with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost?
Yeah.
Remember
A
this?
lot, yeah, when it like first came out.
This kind of looks like that store that they go into because they go into a similar comic book retro-y type store at one point.
I just can't get Karen Gillan out of my head. She's just reminding me of her this entire way.
See, Mike K knows what's up right here. I love Paul too. I like that her brother asked to go with her instead of calling her crazy and not believing her. Actually, I hadn't thought about that. That's a really good point. I mean, I'm not used to movies where the people actually are just like, "Oh, that's so cool. I want to go."
Well, Evan Degraff is so busy tweeting at me that he can't make the show, but he wants to rub in that the Orioles lost. It's okay. I'm fine with us losing a bunch of games and getting that number 1 pick this year because the Red Sox aren't going to make the playoffs, and I'm fine with that.
Look, no one likes Evan Degraff anyway. Really, right? We all agree he's not even here. Her southern accent is hilarious.
I want to go to the shop now.
Right? You know what was funny is I didn't watch a ton of Key and Peele at the time. That is a brilliant. This is an Evan Free Zone. That is correct to this stream. I didn't watch a lot of Keegan and Michael or the Key and Peele show at this time when they did this. So this was actually one of my first real exposures to him at the time. And I started watching Key and Peele because of this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a terrific performer.
He really is. And Key and
Have
Peele.
you guys seen Don't Think Twice? He's so good in that.
The Mike Birbiglia movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like when he pops up in just about anything. And I thought that Key and Peele was one of the best sketch shows in a long time. I thought that it was brilliantly written.
Yeah, there's some all-time classic sketches in that show.
The Gremlins 2 sketches.
With a nice appearance by Hal Rudnick.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like with Hal.
I think my favorite is Continental Breakfast.
Oh, that one's good too.
That
The
one's
zombie
really good.
one is great too.
Or Substitute Teacher.
Substitute's the best. I love the Substitute.
So funny.
You done messed up now, Ron?
Remember when they were going to turn that into a movie?
Balake.
Well, okay.
The action is pretty good in this too.
It really is. I always thought Brad Bird was a pretty
That
good
is
acting director.
so cool. So cool.
It really is. I think the tech is just so awesome.
Yeah, I think Bird really exercised his chops on Ghost Protocol, and then got to do this. Because although it's not my favorite, I still think Ghost Protocol is amazing, and the Burj Khalifa scene is out of control good.
Oh God, yeah.
Out of control.
I actually think that for the most part, I really love Ghost Protocol, but I think that the action in this is better than a lot of Ghost Protocols outside of the sequence you're talking about, because I think he honed it a little more.
The Burj Khalifa scene literally makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I saw it in
I
IMAX,
agree with that.
and I saw it on a real IMAX screen, and I was like, "Huh?"
But like,
Yeah.
but in the best way.
It's like watching Free Solo.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, that movie!
I saw it at the City Walk.
Oh yeah, that's a great IMAX screen. Yeah.
I've not been lucky enough to see anything in true IMAX.
Next time you come to New York, hopefully movie theaters will be open and we can go.
Mike said, awkward conversations kill me. Mike, have you ever seen Meet the Parents? Because that movie is literally 90 minutes of nothing but awkward conversations.
I just love that it's Catherine Hahn and trying to beat the shit out of a teenage girl.
Yeah.
Well dressed like Miss Frizzle.
Yeah, exactly.
I've watched Key and Peele, and I think this would and it's as this I think would have known his speech from Obama and knowing the show. That's good.
She would have been great for Miss Frizzle in a live action movie. Although I am not mad at Elizabeth Banks. I think that's good casting too.
I agree. I think that's a fantastic casting.
Well, and it's all about the wardrobe anyway.
Oh my god, she was a robot
the whole time. Only he could do something like that. Like,
so is this like a better version of what Percy Jackson could have been?
In some ways, yeah, absolutely.
okay, we don't talk bad about Percy Jackson though as a whole.
No, but that felt very much like the whole garden sequence.
Fair.
But better.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mike said weirdly I've only seen Meet the Fockers, which is all right.
That's unfortunate.
Ooh, yeah. Go watch Meet the Parents. That's an all-time classic.
Meet the Parents is very good. The sequels are not.
Meet the Fockers is meh, but yeah.
Meet the Fockers was one of the first times as an older teenager I felt massive disappointment watching something because I love Meet the Parents so much, and I remember that ending where it was like we have to meet his parents, and just that thought of what that could look like, and then that movie came out and I was like, this is not good.
But I do love Barbara Streisand and Dustin Hoffman in it. I think they are hilarious.
Remember when they made Little Fockers and they didn't want to pay Dustin Hoffman to be in it, and then test audiences hated it, so they shot a bunch of scenes with him where he's literally interacting with none of them. Good times.
Now that one I don't think I've seen. I don't think I ever watched Little Fockers.
It's marginally better than Meet the Fockers, but that's not
really
much. Yeah, marginally at best.
I've never seen Little Fockers because I disliked Meet the Fockers so much.
Yeah, that's
I'm trying to remember who
why.
directed it. There was a different filmmaker on it. That's why I watched it.
Because Jay Roach did the first two, right?
Yeah. Paul Weitz directed the third one.
Sorry.
Yeah, Paul Weitz, who did About a Boy and In Good Company and American Pie, Bean Flynn, like a very different filmmaker than Jay Roach.
And his brother makes movies too. Chris.
Yeah.
Chris did, I think, Twilight Saga, New Moon.
Yes. Oh, Patty said correction. I haven't watched Key and Peele. Okay.
Oh, Patty, you need to watch Key and Peele.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. They're
such good social commentary.
Honestly, even if you don't go and watch the full episodes, there's so many clips on YouTube of the various sketches. Whoa. It's funny.
She is a Terminator.
Yeah, she is. George Clooney is like the big star of this movie, and it's 49 minutes in, and he's been seen for like 2 minutes.
I was getting ready to ask about that.
I hated to tell you this, James. He's actually not in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, we saw him for like 2 minutes in the beginning.
No, I know, but that's it. That you never see him again.
You guys saw him. I just saw like a bunch of.
Basically, James was watching porn from the 90s when dial-up was still a thing.
like when Chandler and Joey get free porn on their TV, and they're like, "Don't turn it off."
We've referenced Friends so many times over the various watch-alongs lately.
Could
I
you reference Friends anymore?
be wearing any more clothes?
That is so not the opposite of...
His legs flail about as if independent from his body.
So good.
Sorry, guys.
I want some smoked brisket now.
Where did that come from?
It's where the cops were standing, the restaurant next to it. It said smoked brisket on the...
I do like nice smoked brisket.
That's why I said I want some smoked briskets.
Who is that? That's like low rent Frank Grillo.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
Patty
in
said,
an ATM vestibule with Joe Goodacre.
Patty said, my sub said she spoke Japanese when her translator broke. I'm curious what language she spoke in that scene for the actual Japanese dub. I'm curious. I'm not sure. Is that Andrew Guy? Well done, Mike K. Well done.
What Cyberdyne Systems model is this?
You know, this movie's actually a little violent for a Disney movie.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that they just legitimately incinerated 3 separate people.
You know who else scored very good on the Feynman-Blumable scale?
Who?
The president. Man, woman, camera,
TV.
TV.
Yeah, but remember, some of those questions were very hard. Like,
I literally felt like it was Anchorman, where they're like, you were just naming things in the room.
yeah. You're not wrong. Just remember that looking at an elephant and telling the people that there's an elephant on the piece of paper is hard.
Very challenging. Half the time I'm like, is that an elephant, or might be a hippopotamus, or a rhinoceros, or a rhinoceros? Could be a buffalo.
Keep up anonymous?
The hip hoppopotamus and the rhinoceros.
Nobody gets that Big Daddy reference.
No, I got it.
I got Maxwell's reference.
I'm a big Daddy fan. It's my favorite Adam Sandler movie.
Big Daddy? Is it the sequel?
Yes.
Where he gains 400 pounds and can't leave his bed. He's like, I'm a big daddy.
Fish?
That sounds more like
Bone?
an Eddie Murphy movie, though.
Yeah, it does.
Because Eddie Murphy did the fat suit thing.
So did Adam Sandler in Click.
Yeah, that's fair. You know who did the fat suit thing the best, though, was Ben Stiller in Dodgeball.
Mhm.
Yes.
No?
Although it was just because it was so short. I think
That's
if it would have
why.
been...
I don't usually love fat suit comedies.
No, that
I really like the Nutty Professor, though. The first Nutty Professor, and even the second one isn't terrible. But
I think it's more just I like the dialogue that comes along with it.
yes, like the whole dinner scene. Yeah.
Because I'm not big on the fat suit comedy either. Maxwell and I actually talked about this because I watched recently the new Donnie Yen film, Enter the Fat Dragon, and it's Donnie Yen in a fat suit. And
Oh no.
it was no, it's
That was
really
my
good.
reaction too. I was like,
It's
ugh.
surprisingly very good, and it's not what you think it is because in Hong Kong they don't do fat man fall down type of comedy. That's not what they do.
Yeah.
And so I was I texted Max when it was over. I was like, I'm pleasantly surprised how much I actually enjoyed it and what like the heart that the movie actually had that I was not expecting. So, you know, it goes a long way. Patty says, I'm going to do that from now on. When I don't want to talk to someone, just say my countermeasure protocol is going to activate and shut down. I respect it.
That's what Evan did tonight to not be on the show.
Yeah, it's true. That's fine. Evan won't be back on the channel until 2021 now. That's his punishment. Hey, look, it's me if I shave. I love their relationship. There's something interesting about the robot being so enamored with the idea that of the little things like that. I wonder where this part was shot. I'm just curious.
She's very comfortable trespassing.
Well, she used to break into government property, so I mean,
I'm
It's
aware.
loud rock music.
You know, breaking into government property is no small feat. So breaking into anything else at that point just seems like nothing. We need George Clooney to make another movie like this, you guys.
Well, he just announced today that he's directing something new.
I saw that.
Hey, puppy. Good dog.
That dog is very upset.
He's just saying hi. Hi, 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 hi. Excuse me 1 second.
There's no excuse for you, James.
So cool.
I know. Imagine having a fake guard dog that scares people, but it's not real. Mike says, as someone who didn't hate Suburbicon, I'm ready to see Clooney behind the camera again. I actually think he's a really good director. Like, he's made a lot of great movies.
He did direct some episodes of Catch-22.
Oh, yeah. Good Night, Good Luck is excellent, by the way.
It is. It is very good. And Confessions of a Dangerous Mind is really good, too.
And I actually have a soft spot for Leatherheads. I know that that's not super popular to say, but I actually quite like that movie.
I don't think it's a bad movie. I enjoy John Krasinski in it.
Yeah.
Didn't you see the dog? So does this mean I get to grow up to look like George Clooney, you guys? Is that what I'm learning from this movie?
No, sorry.
Damn it. I'm very
Not
sad.
even giving him hope. Just no.
Look, man, I would love to believe that I could be nearly as handsome and chiseled and grizzled as George Clooney, but I mean, look at him.
He is a fine wine.
Yeah.
He just gets more rugged and handsome with age.
Yep. So it took literally almost an hour for him to really show up in this movie. I can't name a lot of movies that do that with their
This is the shark in Jaws.
That's Colin Farrell in Fright Night, actually.
I want Clooney to do another movie with Soderbergh.
Me too.
Mhm.
I really want them to do another Oceans, if I'm being honest.
Well,
I would love to have another Oceans with the Ocean's 8 cast and find out that Danny isn't really, gone.
although
Incorporate. But
Brad Pitt did say, if I ever do Ocean's 14, you know that I'm struggling for money.
I don't know. If Soderbergh came to him with a really good script,
Yeah, I'm sure he would do it.
Yeah, Brad has never seemed like the kind of guy who's gonna, he's made a lot of choices and he's an incredible actor, but I think he also likes to have fun sometimes. And I think
I will be right back.
Okay.
And that's basically what those Oceans movies were. It was just a bunch of people having fun. It was the same with the original, with the Rat Pack. It was just like a bunch of friends just getting together and making a movie.
Well, I think look at Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like, say what you will about the movie, whether people like it or not, but Pitt's clearly having the time of his life in that movie. He's just having a good time. That's why I like that.
I've been thinking a lot about that movie this last couple weeks, and I think I like it more now.
Yep, as you should.
It's growing on me a little bit, just as I've thought about it.
It is still my favorite movie of last year. Me too, Mike. Mike says if Soderbergh ever wants to come back for another Oceans movie, I'm there opening night.
Absolutely. Ocean's 11 is one of my favorite movies.
Mine too.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen it.
I really like 13 also. 12 is good, but 13...
I don't think 12 is good, but 13 came back into form for me. I like 13 a lot. Pacino really helps. Pacino's great in that movie.
12 has this like weird meta humor that I kind of love about it. The Bruce Willis stuff is so absurd.
Yeah.
I hope she's okay.
12 is like a very real Steven Soderbergh movie. God damn it, I left the door open, you guys.
Are they back?
Sorry, I am returned.
Welcome back. We were talking about Steven Soderbergh and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Brad Pitt being awesome in it while you were gone.
I needed more water.
That's fair.
This was when that Comic-Con panel I went to, they showed this like whole scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting scene for them to show for a Comic-Con panel. You'd think that they would show something in Tomorrowland.
Well, I don't want I don't disagree, but it turns into an action scene, and they wanted to set up the characters a little and then show some of the action, and I think they didn't want to spoil all the Tomorrowland visuals yet.
Yeah,
and that's understandable.
Or they were still working on because New York Comic Con was always in the fall, and the movie didn't come out till I want to say the next May, so there's probably still.
Yeah, they're probably doing a lot of work with the CG.
But yeah, I agree. Brad Pitt more than deserved his Oscar last year. Even for the scene alone where he takes his shirt off on the rooftop, I'm like, give the man an Oscar. Let's go.
The way that he, when he's thinking,
I wanted to punch him in the face with that, actually. His 50-year-old self.
God, could you imagine, motherfucker?
Him and J-Lo are both 50.
I know.
And like, J-Lo strips in Hustlers, and you're like, what? Come on.
She should have been Oscar nominated.
Yep, agreed.
She was really good in that.
Do you guys think we're far off from like this sort of holographic technology?
No, I think that there's definitely some forethought in how they did this. I mean, look at what we're already seeing when you bring Tupac back from the dead to do a full concert. I mean,
and like AR is not that far off from it either.
I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing like holographic people and stuff walking around cities and things like that.
To make it feel like it's more full than there is. People can't go outside.
They could have done that for a baseball game.
Yeah, put them in a baseball stadium.
Hell yeah. I'll record myself to put myself in a seat.
By the way, I was watching the Mets game earlier, and you could pay, or if you're a season ticket holder, to get like your cutout put in the seat. Chipper Jones paid to put himself in Citi Field just to taunt the Mets all year.
No way. That's amazing.
Him and his son. Yep.
That is like top level.
That is great trolling right there. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, respect.
Welcome back to the MLB season, by the way. The four of us here are all massive baseball fans. We're in a fantasy league and everything. It's been quite the ordeal just to get here, but I'm glad it's back.
I'm glad baseball's
Some of our teams
happening.
are better than others.
Yeah.
The bottom half of the screen.
Yeah, Theresa, it was really nice having you here.
Oh no, I mean like the bottom of the screen where our team is terrible. With the upper half, a little more encouraging. If
But I want to be terrible. That's fine. Being terrible is okay. Being mediocre is bad.
Yeah.
You don't want to be
Why
mediocre.
you gotta talk about Brandon Hanna like that on camera?
Brandon texted me earlier after Cespedes hit his home
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm still mad at Brandon. Sorry, guys. trying to challenge that Green Hornet belongs in IG.
Oh, move on.
fuck outta
Move
here.
on. Like this straw. Such a pretty straw.
It is a nice straw. This is very heavy as a sequence.
That's always the hardest question to answer.
Yeah.
My friend wrote 2 young adult novels called Denton Little's Death Date.
Mm-hmm.
That was all about that, a world where everybody knows the day they're going to die and how they choose to live their life leading up to that.
Mm.
And it certainly does lead to some very fascinating, both philosophical and existential questions.
Yeah. Because if you knew, then you'd be so much more risky.
Oh, yeah, there's so
I
many
would think,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I'll go dive without a cage with great white sharks because I know I'm going to survive it.
Hey,
But you might come out away with 3 less limbs.
if Mandy Moore can do it, I can do it.
Wait,
all
Mandy
the-
Moore went free diving with great whites?
Well, she's in that movie 43 Meters Down.
Oh yeah.
Schmodown.
47.
Whatever. It's a shitty movie.
Yeah.
Not the best shark movie. Although I've been playing that video game Manhunter. It is so fun.
I need to play that stuff.
Literally, the
I
whole
haven't
purpose
played
is
that one.
you're a shark and you have to go eat people.
Okay.
It'll be like, welcome to the beach. You need to kill 12 beachgoers.
Can we just talk about the robot smiling and he says, "You have 1 minute to comply before I legitimately try to disintegrate and destroy you."
This is really the scene that clip focused on. It's so cool. All the protection in his house.
Yeah, I thought this was actually quite ingenious, if I'm being honest.
George Clooney.
I would say this is all of a sudden it's Halloween 2018.
Yeah, kind of. George Clooney has such a great voice too.
Mm-hmm. Has, outside of Fantastic Mr. Fox, has he done any other voiceover work?
Not that immediately comes to mind.
That's what I thought. He should really lend his voice to more things. He's got a great voice.
Let's see.
I mean, I know generally he's not about doing like bigger films like that, but I'd be curious to see him. Huh.
Yeah, I think that's the only animated film he's. Well, he was in Spy Kid 3D
Oh, I forgot he was in that.
and the first Spy Kids.
Yeah.
Oh, he does a voice in South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
He plays a cat
Yeah.
and the doctor.
And he did one episode of South Park.
Yeah. Yep, I'm with
We've
Mike.
replaced your heart with a potato. You have 3 seconds to live.
I would love to see Clooney do more voice work. I don't disagree.
But he does all of those Nespresso commercials.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know why he does them?
'Cause
Yeah.
he likes the product.
No. He takes all of the money and he funds his own satellite that he has in the sky that takes surveillance of a dictator in Sudan.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps an eye on a Sudanese dictator with his own satellite from his Nespresso money.
Because George Clooney is a badass.
He is, yeah.
That's the best plot twist of this whole movie.
Makes you wonder.
I think it's unsettling, but also makes so much sense that the robots would have such like perfect teeth.
You're right.
It like creeps me out, but also like they're a robot. Why would their teeth decay?
Perfect teeth, perfect smiles, perfect everything about him.
I like. Oh, that's enough.
And now my Blu-ray's pixelating.
Seriously?
It
How is that
is.
possible? I love this with the toilet. It's
Mhm.
oh, the bathtub. Excuse me.
This really is like brilliantly cool, by the way.
Yep. See, it wasn't enough because he's still alive. She could have kept hitting him with the bat. Oh, that looks great. That holds
It
up
really
so well.
does.
Wow.
And what a great action sequence. Again, Brad Bird really can do action in so many different ways, but especially
And
Mission Impossible.
Claudio Miranda was the DP for this, and if you look through his filmography, he excels on like CG heavy movies. Like he won the Oscar for Life of Pi, but he also works with Joseph Kosinski. He did Tron and Oblivion, and he did the now delayed even further Top Gun Maverick, which I'm still not convinced exists. I think it's just a trailer, and they're going to keep delaying it until we die.
Why? That's so dark.
I've been in a cynical mood. The world is on fire, you guys.
But you're here with friends.
Yeah. Mike K just said the universe doesn't want you to watch this movie, James.
Yeah, apparently not. I sent you a picture. Did you see it? Unfortunately, I can't post it.
How does that happen?
Apparently it might be a smudge on the disc, or it might have a scratch. But
is it working again now?
Oh, no, it's been playing fine, but every once in a while, I'll just get that pixelation come in.
Yeah, you need to just take like a cloth like this and give your disc a nice wipey.
Well, and sadly, like I said, I think for me, it's the free-form streaming. It does not also like the video streaming going on at the same time. These do not seem to be as compatible.
I had thought the movie was on Disney Plus because if you search it, it comes up. But then when you click on the movie, it's like,
it's not until next
September
year.
21.
I hate that. It drives me crazy. Don't put it on there and say that it's coming soon.
Or if you are, when you see the logo, there should be some sort of little thumbnail that automatically says coming soon. But I looked through my digital library and realized I had it.
We thought the same thing too, Mike. I blame Evan Degraff for not looking further into this.
Everything is come back. It comes back to Evan. It's always Evan's fault.
Yeah.
Where's the damn it Evan badge? It's gone from the backlog. I'm upset.
Yeah, because Evan deleted it. Legitimately.
Chris Clark, if you're listening, put that back in, please.
That looks like a kaiju movie. Like, it doesn't even look real. The picture you sent me, James, it doesn't even look. Here we go. We should just have this, and we'll just cue this up every time. And it's Mike literally saying, "Damn it, Evan."
That works for me.
Mike gets a shout out every time, and we get to scream at Evan. It's perfect. You know, for her being so young and new to this industry, her banter with Clooney is really good.
This works too if you look at the bottom of the screen.
Oh yeah, that's good too.
Yeah, I like that.
I was 11. $1.21 gigawatts? It's so funny because Clooney almost always plays a very incredibly cool, suave character. And in this, he's so a little unhinged and his inner child is still very much in play.
Yeah, he seems like a very playful kind of guy.
That's a great ticker on the bottom, you guys. I don't know about you, but I approve of that. That's true. Patty says, cracks me up the youngest of the trio is the one driving.
That makes a very good point. But she's a robot. She's programmed to drive, right?
I just assume she's programmed to take over the world because of Terminator.
Both things can be true.
That's true.
She's such a good actress. I wonder why she hasn't done more.
That's what I'm saying, man. She the back and forth she has with Clooney, who is such a veteran actor to this point. And at this point, she was very young into her career.
Yeah.
And yet she's able to go toe-to-toe with George Clooney.
It always makes me wonder with child actors like this, though, that are so good and you don't really hear from them very much after that. Is it a choice of theirs where they're like, you know what, I just want to be normal in school?
Very, very possible.
It could be the parents too, because the parents have to be involved with those kinds of decisions too. And to be honest, I mean, Vox was not a huge film, and this movie was touted to be such a big deal, and then bombed at the box office. It's got to be hard to be young and have that kind of crushing disappointment.
I didn't really like Vox that much. I need to revisit that one.
I haven't seen that, but it really is impressive just how much she holds her own in these scenes, and how much she it's not even just like matching him, but she really is driving a lot.
She really is good in Vox Lux. I mean, her and Natalie Portman are both they give really, really strong performances. Just the movie as a whole, I didn't enjoy very much.
But I think you're not wrong. But I think Theresa makes an excellent point. Like, she drives a lot of these scenes.
Yeah,
quite literally in the truck, but also just as a character in the things she does.
Well, I think it's also partly about like the dichotomy of the characters. Like, even though he's now an older man, he still has so much love and resentment and confusion about her and what she did to his childhood.
Yeah. And his life in general.
Well, one's childhood then affects the, yeah.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I just was making a point. Because he had literally brought up the fact that she was screwing up his life again. I'm really just absolutely amazed by the amount of forethought that Brad Bird had to do with a movie like this, that all this tech and things like this had to exist.
I'm sure.
Mike says, sorry to cut you off, Maxwell, that there's an animated movie that's TBA on her Wikipedia called Kaczynski's Kingdom.
Interesting.
Another minor Disney reference.
Yeah. I feel like even with Splash Mountain going away, they're still going to use that song in the parks in some capacity.
I wouldn't be surprised if they still leave it in the ride, because that seems like a very New Orleans style song. Like, they could still sing it.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, it's Bird Box.
Full disclosure, I have not seen Bird Box yet. I managed to miss that one. And everyone's crushing disappointment led me to never go back to it.
Like, I get the memes, and I think that's enough.
Yeah, right?
Don't remember what I thought of it. I don't think I hated it, though. It was all right.
I like this scene.
Me too. So the scenes I really like are the ones where I'm always the most quiet, because I actually like watching it. And
it kind of reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
Where their faces are like... Blah, 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 blah.
Why did George Clooney look like Maz Kanata right there?
You're not wrong.
I'm just throwing that out there. That's an old school Coke, too. That's the best kind. Coke out of a bottle is better than Coke out of a can.
Glass bottled Coke is the best. I agree.
That's also my favorite way to open up a bottle.
Yeah.
McDonald's fountain Coke is pretty good, too.
You know what I think the key to the McDonald's fountain Coke is? It's the size of the straws.
I
read
read
a very wide straw.
There's an article about it that I read. Like, they clean the tubes and stuff in the machines more than anyone, and I think it does actually have a little more sugar than other places.
I think that's true. Because they do have the best Coke out of any place I've ever been.
Well, I've been to the Coca-Cola factory.
Well, fast food restaurant-y wise.
I mean, you're not all Beverly fans at Club Cool.
I do miss Club Cool.
I do too.
I would always try the Beverly. I could
tried it every time.
Would you stop being so amazed? I'm sorry. That's just such a good line.
The CG Eiffel Tower in this movie looks better than the CG Eiffel Tower in Soarin' Over the World.
Yep.
That and the Taj Mahal give me a headache because they look so bad.
I saw a
the
tweet
Taj Mahal
earlier.
makes me so mad.
It said 2020 is the Soarin' Eiffel Tower of years.
That's funny.
Yeah, those the Eiffel Tower is friggin' terrible in the new Soarin'.
The Taj Mahal scene, that's completely CGI. There's nothing real about that scene. It makes me so mad.
I think that they cut corners on that Soarin' Over the World in a lot of ways. That was unfortunate.
I think
especially when you compare it to the original version, like this, I get what they were trying to do, and it could have been enhanced, but this was not at all.
I love this stuff.
Yeah.
Like the fake mythology of this, that like all these great inventors would meet in the Eiffel Tower.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like the way they built it in as a mythology. It actually feels real too. That's what I like.
That guy looks like Carrie Yules.
A little bit, actually. Yeah.
Isn't it always?
I've heard it. I've heard it both ways.
Psych reference. Nicely done.
And the other one, I can't see it now, looks like Andy Serkis.
One of my favorite areas of fiction, though, is like historical fiction, like National Treasure, like things that could be true but aren't.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
That movie's kind of fun, actually.
Dude, that book is great too. Both of the books are really good.
I like, well, it's not historical fiction, but Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
I was about to say
same author. Same author.
Kind of historical fiction. Not literally historical, but
it's always cool when you take like well-known historical figures and then like involve them in things that they definitely couldn't have been involved in. But it's fun to speculate.
Mm-hmm. That's why I like the American, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter and then American Vampire, which was the sequel, prequel, midquel, so much.
There is a certain National Treasure element to this movie.
There is, especially the kind of going from place to place, figuring out the next place they need to go, figuring out the mystery.
A great effect. The Eiffel Tower splitting in half.
Mm-hmm. Imagine being on the ground watching the Eiffel Tower splitting in half and how confused you'd be.
I would just like to see the Eiffel Tower in person.
It's pretty beautiful.
One day, I will go to Paris.
One day, I will leave my house.
That's fair, yeah. One day, COVID will be over and we'll be able to travel again. Things I dream about, you guys. I'd like to be able to go down the street and get pizza easier than before.
Oh, in New York, now we're able to do that.
I don't trust people in Arizona. It's a shit show.
I don't blame you. It's honestly, when I'm out in the streets in New York now, because I have been a little bit more than before because we got hit hard first and are now.
Right.
It's rare to see someone without a mask. Usually if you see someone without a mask, they're like exercising and staying away. They're like riding their bike or jogging. Ever so often you'll see someone, but it's rare.
Yeah, I see people all the time just sitting around with no masks, hanging out, acting like none of this is happening anymore.
Yeah.
I want to go on a spaceship.
Me too.
Same.
But like I also don't want to like train to be an astronaut. I just want to get on a ship and go.
I agree with that. You guys think Tom Cruise is going to have to train to be an astronaut for this movie that they're going to shoot in space?
I do, but I also think he's had a lot of the training already.
I don't think he's going to have to. I think he's going to choose to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd be like, no, you don't have to do it. He goes, fuck you, I'm doing it.
But here's my question. Like, where is the crew going to stay? Is it just like a few scenes shot in I'm like so interested.
Remember when Colin Trevorrow wanted to shoot sequences in space for the new Star Wars movie before he made it?
Oh, it's Spielberg FaceTime.
Yep.
Stop recording video vertically.
That must be there. That person wasn't. They were doing it horizontal.
They're doing good. Yeah.
See,
they know the vertical video.
I'm impressed by how well this stuff is holding up visually.
I actually think this is one of the nicest looking CGI movies I've seen in a while. That's so heavy on it and like very reliant on it. I'm impressed. Mike says the last time he was in Paris was 2 summers ago.
Must be nice, Mike.
Can you be nice to Mike K? Mike K is one of our favorite people who hangs out with us. Him and Patty are here like every day.
So is this about to turn into Astro Orbiters?
Journey to the center of the earth, more like.
Nah. When do they get to Stitch's Great Escape?
I was just thinking that ride has been attraction has been permanently closed.
Mm-hmm. Never again. But they already kind of dismantled the Stitch, so
I never got to ride it, guys.
I never did either. I've done Alien Encounter many times, but I never did Stitch's Great Escape.
It was
you're not missing much.
No, it was awful.
I know, but as a fan of Stitch, we need more Stitch in the parks.
I like the pre-show actually, and then when you got in the circular chamber and the thing, no. Mm-mm.
But it was like I do not get claustrophobic much, but I did on that ride. Like
that's fair.
Alien Encounter terrified me the first time I did.
It was the same ride system. They just changed it to Stitch. Yeah, Alien Encounter was scary.
It was really scary. They after like the first year or so, they actually
toned it down.
They toned it down the intensity. But when I first went, it was really intense, and I was young.
I'll be right back again. Sorry, guys.
Nope, you're good. So I always thought this was interesting, like them coming to Tomorrowland, and Tomorrowland looks just so dystopian and scary, and I kind of dig it actually. Like it's got a Mad Max meets Waterworld sort of vibe that I'm kind of here for.
Yeah.
And Space Mountain's still there.
Yes.
So
yes.
Most
something survives. They've arrived at 2020.
Yeah, this is current look at 2020, guys.
Everybody's indoors because of COVID.
We're all indoors. We're all hiding. The outside world's starting to look like this. Like some of the plants and stuff are growing, and that's great. Nature's healing, but we're also running down everything else.
Mike called it too. Expectation versus reality.
Mike is on fire tonight. Did she just put that in her stomach?
With that hat on, she also kind of looks like Brie Larson as Carol Danvers.
A little bit. You're not wrong. And look, it's the police force who show up just to take people because they don't like them. It's reality.
We got cities in ruins, nobody around, but the police still there. This is very 2020.
I was going to say that's it's close to home.
Yeah. We were saying this is really what 2020 is right now.
That outfit that Hugh Laurie is wearing, it like gives Ben Mendelsohn and Rogue One a run for its money.
It also kind of feels like Jack Harkness's.
A little bit. I would wear that jacket. That's pretty dope.
I would too.
Yeah.
The collar's just a little too popped.
Yum.
I really want a Jack Harkness coat, actually, guys. Be rad.
I want the Rocketeer code first.
Me too. Well, that one's good too.
I want Doc Holliday's jacket from Winona Earp.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a good one too.
no. Okay. Thought you were talking about the one from Tombstone. That one's really
That
good
one
too.
is great too. But the one in Winona, you should watch that show if you haven't seen it, everyone. But
As Theresa said earlier, both can be true.
indeed.
I've seen Hugh Laurie use an American accent in so many things that when he does the British accent, I think he's faking the British accent instead.
It's kind of like when I watched The Impossible and listening to Tom Holland with his British accent. It's like, that's not what you sound like. You're from Queens. What are you talking about?
He is so good in that. He's a very, very good actor.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
I'm excited to see that movie he's doing with the Russos. What's it called? Cherry?
Cherry. Yep. We actually know someone who auditioned for that movie, I learned recently. I didn't know that.
Dan or Hogue?
Dan.
Danold.
Mr. Danold. Danold Nye.
Danold Nye, the handsome guy.
It's only appropriate that her last name would be Newton, and she's trying to fix the world, by the way.
Yeah. I like that there's like a little element of like space opera melodrama to some of this.
Yeah.
So is Hugh Laurie a robot also? How is he not aged?
He drinks his milkshake every day. Didn't you hear him? It comes in chocolate now.
No, I can't hear anything. I have to read the subtitles because I have my TV turned down so low.
Well, he
I must
still
have missed
said
that
it, so your subtitles don't talk about the
I
shake.
look over here to talk to you guys, and then I look back, so I miss things.
Oh, I'm so sorry, James. I'm so sorry to bother you. I love having you guys here. It just makes me happy.
You have a funny way of showing it.
I like making fun of James. It's easy.
That's rude.
You're going to kick my ass in fantasy baseball. We're fine.
Kick your ass in real life, too.
How
Watch
dare
your
you?
mouth.
Oh my god.
You fucking try.
Goodness.
Fucking try.
Teresa and I are just over here like, oh, what's happening? I don't like violence.
Love you, Maxwell.
Love
I
you
would
too.
never fight people. It's like punching a puppy.
That's true.
Thank you. Who wants to fight a puppy? That just seems mean.
Oh, I had a house guest once who kicked my dog.
Oh, I know. I've heard
What?
that
Did
story.
you kick them out?
No, but I don't talk to him anymore.
Unfortunately, the first thing that my brain went to was that prank phone call that you kicked my dog.
Oh, I remember that.
I do
kicked
remember that.
My dog?
You kicked my
I
dog.
remember that. Yeah.
Like, this looks so good. Like, a lot of heavy CG has like a plastic or weightless quality, but that orb felt tactile in many ways.
Yes, definitely.
I'm
This
sure
scene is
I'm
very
sure
cool.
ILM did the effects.
That sounds accurate. I'd have to look. I'm not quite sure off the top of my head.
I don't know what that is, but I'm sorry to say it kind of looked like a scrotum.
I was gonna say it kind of looks like that big globe that's in the water
Mm,
that you can see.
yes, that's true. I would love it if one of them was like, "Can you tell me how to get to Tapanito, please?"
It's like, which way to the Mexico Pavilion?
Where can I get a
shit, wrong park. My bad.
Where can I get a churro?
Just somebody walking in the background with a Dole Whip or a turkey leg.
God, I miss
Turkey
Disney
leg
World.
would be good.
I miss Disney World so much, you guys.
Try
I-
talking about it every week on a podcast.
Can't
And
imagine.
you're not going.
Oh, now we're in Soren.
Yeah. She's just like spinning the ball, like. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Mike said this has ILM written all over it.
Yeah, I would think so. I love that little eye roll Clooney just gave. Clooney is funny, you know. In the Ocean's movies, he's really funny. He doesn't get enough credit.
He should really do more comedy.
His banter back and forth with Brad Pitt and those just
So
some of
good.
the best parts. Of the movie.
It's like classic Newman Redford.
Yeah. Ted Nugent called. He wants his shirt back.
Yeah.
I hope you were the groom.
Yeah, so good. Now I want to watch that movie again, even though I've probably seen it more than any movie.
Hey, I know that place. That's where I'm from.
This whole sequence is so rad to me, you guys.
Just a little further.
The way that he looks at them is so sinister, and it actually kind of freaks me out. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oof.
And I actually love this sequence because it's actually like legitimately horrifying too.
Oh yeah, I'm getting a little verklempt.
Yeah.
Ooh, $4.25 a gallon. Ouch.
Well, and that was home that was New York. This movie really is like Brad Bird also trying to warn us, which I like a lot. Like he really did try to use this as a platform to be like, this stuff could really happen too. Maybe not to the extremes at times the movie is showing because it's still a movie, but like this stuff matters.
I don't want to get on a political soapbox, but it just baffles me when there's so much clear evidence as to the direction the environment is heading, and so many people don't take it seriously.
Yep.
And to me, it's not a political issue; it's a humanity issue. As so much of this is like
The same thing with the coronavirus and all the stuff going on now with masks and stuff. It's not a political issue.
It's not politics. It's humanity. It's either you care about everyone or you just care about yourself. And do I think the world is going to be destroyed in our lifetime? No, but do I want my kids and my potential grandchildren and their kids to have a prosperous life? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it comes down to, you see, individuality has started to become more significant to some people than empathy has.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And that kind of drives all of their thoughts and their decisions, and the rest of us are just...
Yeah, it's real frustrating. And I mean, you look at the people who keep trying to say, well, you know, it goes through waves. This is, you know, it'll just go back the other direction. That's not how it works, you guys.
Yeah. I think this is a really good point Mike K made, that this is the part where it really starts to feel like a Damon Lindelof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Also, he made another great point. We need to stop conflating politics with humanity issues.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mike K is absolutely right.
Yeah. I know Lindelof gets a lot of crap for Lost, and I don't want to relitigate Lost, but I think he's a pretty brilliant writer. Like, if you look at his output post Lost, especially in television, both The Leftovers and Watchmen are two of the very best things that have been on TV in the last 5 to 10 years.
He's also a great world builder, like no matter how you want to cut it. And this movie is all about the world building and the mythology that it creates.
Right.
Lindelof loves mythology.
And
I'll give them some slack for Lost because they wanted to end that show sooner, but the network kept forcing them to make more seasons, and the writer's strike really hurt them because.
I don't have as much of a problem with the ending of Lost as others, but I think what the the driving force throughout all of Lindelof's best work is he shows us the worst of what could happen, and then he shows us how it's humanity that can get us through it.
Yeah.
Like The Leftovers especially, like that show is so depressing and about the devastation of the world and all these people going missing, but it's the humanity of the characters and their connection and them finding each other.
Watchmen deals with a lot of that too.
Oh yeah.
In very specific ways.
Yeah, the Watchmen show is masterful. It's so much
That's the way
better
to watch.
than it has any right to be.
Yeah.
Even World War Z, he came in and he saved the ending of that movie. And
Yep.
it's very much the same way. It's the humanity that shines through.
All the memories. It's so interesting to me because I know that this movie even got a little flack for this being the answer, but I mean, it's actually kind of a brilliant reversal of the way that they found her to begin with. And I actually think it kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and Patty says, I love the message of the story that one person's belief and faith can have such a positive impact.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I think we actually suppress that far too frequently these days. I think that people who are optimistic and always trying to find the good in things and trying to put out a positive message a lot of the time feel like they're mocked. And
I think that is your defining quality, PJ. I think you are an optimist and look to the positive in everything, and it is so refreshing in a world that is so cynical and dark, especially on the internet where snark and cynicism and everything is awful is sort of like the reigning language, especially on social media, and that is never you, and that sets you apart in a really special way.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry now.
That was not my intention. I'm sorry.
No, I love you, man. Thanks.
Love you too.
We're very
And then he's
positive
gonna
and optimistic here.
It's hard, I always try to look to the positive because there's so much of the opposite out there, and it can be very hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard, and yeah.
And I'm not just talking about like in movies and TV, but like at the world,
Yeah.
at large,
She's so good in that. Like her, and again, like Britt Robinson to a point, like really, really is just holding her own against two veteran actors that
I
not
like
a lot of young people can.
Yeah, I like Britt Robertson a lot. Like I was saying earlier, that show she did For the People, she was real good on that. I'm sad it's over.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she'll have a really nice career ahead of her. I think I'm gonna watch that.
I still believe.
Yeah, this week.
Yeah, I probably will too. Need to finish watching my Japanese horror stuff that I just got first, though.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
I watched the first and the second this morning. I'm gonna watch the third one probably tonight. And then
I've never seen the sequels. I've only seen the first one.
I thought the second one was very, very interesting. It goes in some different directions I wasn't expecting, and I've never seen Spiral. I know that for a fact, so I'm going to be curious to watch.
Yeah,
Spiral.
when I saw that was on the we're talking about the Arrow Ringu collection that they have.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw Spiral was on there, not the upcoming Saw movie, a different movie. I was like, oh, I need to get it. Yeah, this is another great point Patty makes. I think that's another point the movie hits. It's not always easy looking for the positive, but it can make such a difference trying, because you see here in this scene, like, what's his name? Governor Nix? Is it Governor?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, he is sort of the de facto antagonist of the movie because he doesn't see the value in looking for the positive. He's given up. Like a chocolate eclair.
You honestly could not have acted or asked for a better actor in this role, to be honest, in the way he delivers the dialogue.
Yeah, I think Hugh Laurie is a brilliant actor. I mean, he's known for comedy. Like, you think back to Jeeves and Wooster with him and Stephen Fry. But, like, when you look at House, which I think he was, even when the show sort of went off the rails, he was always remarkable in and always had, like, a malicious side to his character. He's really good at the villain roles.
Yeah.
Or on Veep.
That he is he's considered for comedy as much anymore. Early in his career, obviously he was definitely a comedic actor, but for most people like that know him from the States, they know him as House.
Yeah.
So he's not done a lot of comedies in the U.S.
Well, he was on Veep a lot, but even on Veep, he was more of an antagonist but he was funny. And have any of you watched his new HBO show?
No.
I want to, but I haven't seen it yet.
Well, so I think one of the things that he does really well that not everyone can master is he knows like just the right intensity to bring to a role, because it's so easy to go overboard, or it's so easy to be understated, and he always just hits that note perfectly.
It's why I like Ben Mendelsohn is exactly what you're talking about, because so many people compare them, but Ben Mendelsohn, as much as I like him, and almost everything he's in, he almost takes it to that extra dial in anything you're watching. Like if you look at Ready Player One, if you look at Rogue One, if you look at Robin Hood, like Mendelsohn always turns it up.
Nobody is looking at that Robin Hood.
I like that movie.
I hear what you're saying, but I think,
he's still great.
In Rogue One or Ready Player One, it's okay that he does that. It's about knowing the tone of the particular movie you're in.
No, totally. And I'm not taking away anything from that. But
then if you watch something like Mississippi Grind, where he's more understated, or that TV show Bloodline, where he was so good. Yeah.
Dude's a credible actor. I always think of, I can't remember.
And he is utterly delightful and fantastic in Captain Marvel.
Yes, he is. And even in his small cameo in Far From Home.
Yeah, spoilers, but yeah.
Mike K says, now I kind of want to see Laurie and Mendelsohn face off in a project. They should make the face off remake with them.
That would be awesome. I love that idea. I like these big robots too. They're more like astromechs kind of.
You know what another movie around this same time frame that Disney made that didn't get nearly enough love was Real Steel. Speaking of giant robots.
Real Steel is surprisingly excellent.
Yes, exactly.
It has so much heart and it pays off in such a good way.
Sean Levy doesn't get enough credit as a filmmaker. Like, he's actually done some really great work.
I think he's directed some of the best episodes of Stranger Things.
I agree. Well, so has Pixar's own Andrew Stanton, if we're giving some love to the Pixar directors too.
And Sean Levy has the film rights for Be More Chill.
Yes, he does. I'll be very curious to see how that comes together.
I will as well.
Real Steel doesn't get enough love. See, that's what's up. Patty knows what's up.
I like Real Steel more than any of the Transformers movies, except for maybe Bumblebee.
It's also maybe arguably one of my favorite boxing films of all time. Legitimately.
I'm surprised there wasn't a sequel because I think it did all right.
It did all right, and they kept trying. It just couldn't. The thing was, it wasn't a big enough hit for them to decide to do it, you know?
It would be a fun idea for a TV show if they can manage the budget well.
Yeah. Wasn't Sean Levy at one point supposed to do Uncharted?
Yeah, he was attached to that for a while, but
that would have been the version I wanted.
Then again, every white male in Hollywood has been attached to direct Uncharted at some point or another,
or just to star in it because it's come back around to the point that Mark Wahlberg's attached to it again. So,
which I think is such bad casting. But
I agree. You had Bruce Campbell right there. What were you guys doing?
I get the idea that they're doing a younger Nathan with Tom Holland, and they wanted a comparably younger Sully, but not Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg's just not Sully. It's just bad casting.
You know who would have been good, actually, speaking of Bruce Campbell, was Jeffrey Donovan.
Oh, yeah, Jeffrey Donovan would have been very good. He's actually really good in both those Sicario films, too. This is the way he said that. This is not funny.
The way George goes, ah, and runs is great.
Again, brilliant comedic actor, to be honest.
I know not everyone loves Descendants. I think it's quite good, and I think he's brilliant in it. It's such a great balance between comedy and drama.
Shailene Woodley is great in that too.
That's still one of the things that miffs me that she didn't get that Oscar nomination, because I believe she got the Globe nomination.
Right.
And that was the first thing I saw her in, because I never watched Secret Life.
She's a really underrated actress.
Yeah.
I think she's fantastic in Adrift. That movie I knew nothing about, but I just went and saw it because I had Movie Pass or whatever, and she just carries that movie. And then I just watched Spectacular now.
I was gonna say she's really good. That movie's really good. That movie hits hard.
Yeah.
Kyle Chandler in that movie.
Yeah.
Man. Whew. Adrift. I'm gonna add that. I never watched that, although I got spoiled on the twist.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add that to my watch list while we're talking about it.
It was good.
It's on Showtime. Okay, good to know. It's Sam Claflin, right?
I don't know.
The guy you don't
I
know.
didn't pay attention to the director.
No. Her co-star.
Oh yeah.
From Hunger Games.
The name struck me a second later. Yep.
Oh, this is sad.
I know.
I really think she's the MVP of this movie.
I 100% agree with you. I think she absolutely is the best part. Mike says that Adrift is damn good, and I believe he's also saying it is Sam Claflin as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on my list to watch this week.
Yeah, it's really good. She carries that movie the entire way.
I wish I didn't know what happens. Someone carelessly learned it for me, but I'm sure I'll still enjoy it. I thought, I don't know if you guys remember, but before the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man series fell apart, she was cast as Mary Jane.
And the internet hated her because of some fucking set photos.
Well, they hated her because they said she wasn't attractive enough, which is so sexist and misogynistic. Misogyny on the internet? Never.
No.
The internet's the worst.
But I thought she was great casting because she's a terrific actress. And I thought it's a shame we didn't get to see her in that part. Although I love what they've done with Zendaya, so, you know.
I love that she says she's an audio animatronic.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, nod to Disney.
I think this movie and Saving Mr. Banks make a really good double feature. I want a car like that. That's so cool.
It's basically just a smart car.
Don't cry on the stream again, Maxwell.
I mean, I feel like that's going to happen a lot on almost anything we watch at this point. Dude, Clooney's got some real great tier work going on. Goddamn right.
Yeah, I think another thing is, I can think of a lot of times in my life where I've been told, like, your heads are in the clouds, stop dreaming, live in reality. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I think
I agree.
To dream is important because the dreamers are the one who can maybe find a better future for us.
Mm-hmm.
Just listen to Kermit.
To what?
To Kermit the Frog.
We need those people that think outside the box. They're the people who are going to take us farther. Like, they're the ones who are going to help us. They're going to take us forward. They're going to save us, you know?
Unfortunately, so many of them end up billionaires, which corrupts them and they turn into a-holes, but...
Yeah.
Well, I will say, but this goes back to what we were talking about at the very beginning of the movie, is that's the essence of what Walt Disney was trying to do in everything that he was doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, he wanted to spark people's imaginations. He wanted to create a better world. I think that's very important.
Now I have the song, the Figment song in my head.
Which is wonderful. Another fantastic song.
I should have worn my Figment shirt today.
I could have worn my Figment Spirit jersey. I should have.
I just got my Mickey.
I'm wearing a LeFou's Brew shirt.
What does the E in Epcot stand for? I always miss that one.
Experimental prototype city of tomorrow.
Community of tomorrow.
Oh, community of tomorrow.
This is why I'm here.
I thought it was experimental. Wasn't positive.
I love when you ride the People Mover or the TTA and you see the model of it.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think that this movie's ultimate message about like dreamers needing to stick together is so important, and actually, from wanting dreamers to be these people. It's just so awesome.
Well, and I think I don't want to hammer it too much, but like what separates this from Ayn Rand is that it's about dreaming, so you can give better things to everyone. It's not a closed community.
Yeah.
Because Ayn Rand, and I'm not super familiar with her work, but it was sort of like an objectivist, better community just for the people who belong.
Which is kind of the whole, like, that's what she was fighting against so hard.
Right, exactly. If anything, the villain or antagonist of this movie is that way.
It looks like Spaceship Earth.
It sort of does.
It had the little the panels that were in the same design.
Thank the Phoenicians. That was such a good line delivery. Oh, bollocks.
Still can't fly with that thing for shit.
Well, at least that's consistent.
Yep.
It's because he hasn't put the gum on the back.
It's true.
It's leaking rocket fuel.
And we know she has some.
Wow, that's pretty.
It really is.
I wouldn't mind if they put those in the park.
Yeah. It's kind of like Pandora.
Nah, don't get me started.
I would have been really curious if if it had actually done better, to see where this series could have gone, because I think it really leaves itself in a place that it would have done very cool things and very special things.
Or the impact it might have had on Tomorrowland itself in both parks.
I'm excited to see what they do with Jungle Cruise, though.
I was so excited for that movie. I think the trailers look great. Honestly, of like all the movies that have been delayed, the ones that have upset me the most are that and In the Heights. Mm-hmm. I know everyone's like Tenet, and yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Wonder Woman, but I was so looking forward to Jungle Cruise. It just looked like my kind of pulpy adventure, like the perfect summer movie.
Yeah, totally. See, and this is exactly what we're talking about. They open this world now to literally everyone, and that's so important.
And this is the part that reminds me of Midnight Special the most. I like that jacket. Yeah. Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah, that one broke my heart too.
Although that first photo is pretty cool.
Silence.
That's always the hard part with watch alongs. Like the scenes that are really good and I want to
Yeah.
know what they're saying. Like I don't want to talk.
Well, that and I've never seen this movie.
Windmills. What happened if the wind stops? Tim McGraw. So weird that he's in this.
I know. Again, what a strange cast.
Oh yeah, that's the future of rock and roll right there.
Animal Kingdom?
Yeah, it's the Kilimanjaro Sparks. It's a really big baobab tree.
The other thing I like too in this is that what we start to see, and I think this is very important, is that the people who are getting this aren't just young. They aren't just white. They're people of all races and creeds and age. That's important because, you know, that stuff matters.
That wouldn't have felt good to step on.
I love that. God, it's just so good, you guys.
That's a really cool shot.
Yeah.
It's so optimistic too. So there it is, guys. That is Tomorrowland. And I think that it's actually maybe the first or second time I've seen it really since theaters. So it's kind of fun to revisit it because it's been so long for me. But it holds up way better than I remembered. I had a lot of fun with it. I think that it speaks to a lot of very important messages that we've all kind of talked about throughout. But I'm going to go over to James, whose first time it was, for having maybe the arguably worst stream you could have possibly imagined getting here. We got through it. You finally saw it. How you feeling?
Yeah, I enjoyed it for what I got to see. I definitely don't want to do a first watch along or a first watch of a movie during a watch along. Again, that's the whole reason that I watched Hamilton twice in the day, because I didn't want to watch it for the first time on a watch along, because I wasn't able to pay attention to it as much. And obviously with my TV turned down, I can't hear the dialogue and things like that. So it wasn't a great viewing experience, but I really enjoyed a lot of the visuals and the storytelling that went on. And it wasn't nearly as horrific as I was expecting it to be with some of these reviews. I don't think the reviews that came out with it were fair. I think it's got a good story, and maybe it wasn't executed as well as we would have liked, but I enjoyed it. I think it was perfectly fine.
I think it's interesting you bring that up because I think the movie's really, really ambitious, and there was a lot it was trying to do, and you can only do so much in a film. Like Disney's not going to give you 3 hours to do it. And I've heard that the movie used to be like very long. Like a lot of stuff was cut out. Obviously, we talked about Judy Greer even popping up for half a second, and then you never really see her
it's so
again.
weird that she's in it. Like, she does a lot of small parts, but here she's like, if you don't know she's in it, you wouldn't even necessarily know it's Judy Greer.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, I wouldn't even necessarily maybe even ask a question about it in the Schmodown. That's how crazy it is. But, you know, it's interesting that yet I think watching it this time, I found that its message is so abundantly clear in the end that I didn't necessarily mind that it doesn't do more with itself, because I think the message is so important. So I'm going to go over to Theresa, our resident Disney Parks podcaster and fan. What are your thoughts now that we've revisited it?
So this was my first time rewatching it since it was in the theater, and what you didn't see during part of it is it's kept pausing and kept buffering. So I was texting James. I was like, give me a time, trying to catch up to match where you guys were. So I did pretty well. I apologize for not being as interactive as I normally am,
You're all right.
but I didn't want to make sure I was not jumping ahead or too far behind.
You're good.
No, but I think something this is a movie that, we talked about how some of the visuals hold up, but it is so much more relevant now, the message of it, than when it came out. And like I said, especially because of the situation that we're all in at this point in time, I think that it just hit so much harder. And I appreciate that he was, I think it's a lasting message, but like I said, I think just particularly now, it seems so much more significant. And I think rewatching it, like I said, I enjoyed it the first time, but I have a new appreciation for it watching it now, just in the context of life.
No, totally. And I think that that's absolutely fair, especially now. This movie feels more timely and more necessary probably now more than ever.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And so I think time is actually going to be very good to this movie, especially because we've all talked about that it actually aged beautifully. It felt very much like it could be of any time. I think it's going to have that timeless quality because it's very Art Deco and doesn't really try to go crazy with the tech. It's like retro tech, and I think that that's really special. Max, what were your thoughts as we watched the movie again?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters, and I own the Blu-ray, but I'm not sure if I've ever actually watched it a second time until tonight. I can't remember, but I think it holds up better than I ever could have expected. I think it's a movie that's aged well and will continue to age well. And I think it's like reviews and the way people talk about it is unfair. And I think it's one of those movies that with time, as everyone was saying, will get more appreciation. Visually, it's on point. I think it manages its tones really well because at times it's a little cheesy and it's a little campy and it's sci-fi and it's also beautiful at times, but it all feels of a part. And I think it has a really beautiful message, and one that, as Theresa was saying, is probably more relevant now in 2020 than it was in 2015. And that girl, Rafie Cassidy, is that her name?
Yeah, I believe so. She's really the MVP here.
Just fantastic. Clooney's good, Laurie's good, Britt is good, but she just walks away with the movie. It's probably never going to happen, but I would be curious to see a sequel.
I would love to see even a Disney Plus series. I mean,
or a comic book or just something that, like, I would love to know what happens to Tomorrowland now that it's reopened, and it's I don't know.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. And again, Giacchino's score is like aces.
It's interesting too, because I know that a lot of people wanted the movie to be the Tomorrowland at the end of the movie. That's what they were hoping it would be, which understandably, like, you hear Tomorrowland, that's what you want to see. But at the same time, I kind of like the journey of getting there. And so I would love to see it now, but I find the need to getting to Tomorrowland so much more prevalent and needed right now than actually getting it right away and just having it handed to us, because I think we need to be reminded that, you got to work for the things like that. Like, if you want a good world, you have to work for it. And right now, again, more than ever, that feels very, very important. But I don't think it can be understated how talented Brad Bird and Damon Lindelof both really are and what they managed to do with this. I think for Damon, in a 2-hour film, it's arguably one of the best that he's ever done as far as mythology building without getting lost in the system and doing too much. And I think Brad Bird just did a really wonderful job. So thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. Real quick before we go, I think we'll run through what we've got coming up again. Max, what do we got on the docket right now?
Oh God, we have so much on the docket. I don't think we're doing family game night tomorrow. Am I correct on that?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I know that Chris wanted to do something. I don't think it's happening now. We'll find out, but it is coming back the week after.
Yeah, again, on next Saturday, Family Game Night, it's Family Feud 2. If you watch the first one, you know what a disaster it was. We have higher hopes for this one. We have some new cast members joining us with Dan Nye and
Tim Franco.
Tank. And again, as opposed to last time where we just use like existing Family Feud cards you can get at the store, we polled 30 members of the PJ Campbell Network and Schmodown and ancillary communities to get their responses. So it's going to get spicy.
Real quick, I just want to shout out Mike K, who just sent us a Streamlab, who said, wow, this held up so much better than I remember even watching it in theaters 5 years ago. I'm glad we all got to watch this together. Hopefully the film finds an audience and more people rediscover it. I could not agree with that sentiment more.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Mike, you are the best. We're going to figure out what we're going to do you've been so amazing.
Yeah.
Since this channel started. So thank you.
Mike K is MVP.
Hey, Mike, do you want a digital code for the campaign, the Will Ferrell, Zach Galifianakis movie? Because I have an extra one laying around that I was going to get rid of.
That movie has pugs in it, so it's not all bad.
Yeah. Then Monday, Brad Bird month comes to a close with a double feature of The Incredibles and The Incredibles 2. Hopefully, Evan Degraff will be back for those. I know PJ will be here. We'll see who else gets to join us. That'll be really fun.
And it'll start 2 hours early, 5 p.m. since it's a double feature. 5
p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're going to join us for that, we'll tweet about it. And also follow PJC Network on Twitter if you don't already. We launched Twitter just for the network, so that's really exciting. Then Tuesday, Evan Degraff will be back with a brand new episode of Famous Last Words. Guest to be announced. What else do we got coming up? Monster. Newsies. Yep. Newsies is Wednesday. Kevin Smets, who was in the original movie, Robert Parker, and the lovely Kristen Smith talk Newsies with Chris Clark. Thursday, I don't think there's anything, so it's a great opportunity to watch last night's Front Center Mezzanine if you haven't seen it already with our guest Heath Saunders. It's a terrific episode. As I said earlier, we talk about so much theater and horror, but also systemic racism in theater and gender identity. It's really a terrific conversation. Heath is incredibly intelligent and well-spoken, and it's just great to hear his thoughts on everything that's been going on. And then it's a monster month. Cloverfield, King Kong, The Host, and then our double feature of Godzilla 98 and Pacific Rim. And who doesn't love Godzilla 98, if only for the Jimmy Page Puff Daddy duet, which is still a bop to this day.
You're going to watch a bunch of grown men actually defend Godzilla 98, which will be very interesting.
I don't know if I'm going to defend it. I haven't seen it in a long time. I think it's bad, but I'll watch it with you guys.
It's fun as hell. It's not a good movie, but I'm going to defend it for being maybe not necessarily good and still kind of fun.
Well, my favorite Godzilla 98 thing is obviously a lot of it takes place in Madison Square Garden. I go to a lot of Rangers games there, and they always play sound effects of the Godzilla roar at the start of a new period for hockey.
See, I thought you were going to say the Taco Bell commercial.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about it, too, if I'm being honest.
And then, of course, Scary Movie Squad. September, October, nothing but scary movies. Halloween, Friday the 13th, Part 2, Scream, Haunt, which PJ and I are huge fans of, and we're really excited to introduce to more people. That's available for stream on Shudder. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which Theresa will be joining us. Poltergeist, The Conjuring, Cabin in the Woods, Sleepy Hollow, and then our Halloween double feature, Trick or Treat, and Halloween 2018. And what I can say now about Halloween is if you want to see a grown man get shit-faced on the internet, that grown man being me, join us.
And also probably Evan as well, if he thinks he's going to survive it.
But he's not a grown man.
That's true. He's 12 years old, but still.
Finally, if you don't want to watch videos or you want to just listen to us on your drive to work or when you're working out, all of our episodes are available on Spotify and iTunes. The PJ Campbell Show, Famous Last Words, Front Center Mezzanine, all the watch-alongs. If you want to use them as an audio commentary when you're watching a movie instead of watching our faces, check us out on Spotify and iTunes. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're so close to 250 subscribers. It's really exciting. I think that's it. As if that wasn't enough.
No, it's a bright, big, beautiful tomorrow, if you will, here at the PJ Campbell Network. And we have so much going on and so much for you guys to look forward to. The thing that we sat down to discuss today that you kind of might have seen me tease on Twitter is going to blow your guys' minds once we announce it. And I think you're going to enjoy it a lot. But until then, James, where can everyone find you online?
You can find me at Gator24, G4TOR24 on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd. And upcoming competing in the Schmodown singles tournament. We got a 36-man tournament. I got a play-in match with Frank Moran. And the winner of that gets into the tournament to face the William the Beast Bibiani. So that's a really easy first-round matchup. So, whichever one of us comes out of there, we got a cakewalk in the first round.
You're basically in Thunderdome at this point.
So, come support me. Come support the Den. We're looking to do good things this year. So hopefully I can come through and get a win in that first match.
Well, James, I wish you the best on that. But we're gonna leave you up.
Thank you.
We don't drop people out anymore. You get to wave goodbye to people. So
Thank
just sit here and smile and be pretty. Teresa, where can everyone find you online?
So you can find me mostly on Twitter at Gertie the Dino. We mentioned my podcast earlier, so it's called No Guilt Disney. It's a lot about Disney parks, but we've had to get a little creative lately because of the situation going on. So we talk about a lot of things on Disney Plus. We share unpopular opinions. We share basically a lot of, if people have stories they want to share with us, we will read them out loud, because who doesn't want to listen to somebody sharing something that they told them? It's always good. But yeah, so you can find me just around the internet and on this channel occasionally.
Yes, and we're always glad to have you. So thank you so much for being here. And you're great. And hope you guys will check out the podcast. Teresa's awesome. Max, where can everyone find you online?
Well, you can find me Twitter at Cinemaxwell. Instagram is at Cinemaxwell Inc. You can always find me at the PJ Campbell Network most nights talking about nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty much where you can find me too. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at PJ_Campbell. You can find me here pretty much every night talking bullshit with these people, these fine human beings that I love very much. And of course, find me at the Schmodown, where I write questions and I never get yelled at about it. Nope, there's never controversy about anything. Challenge. I hate that word. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. So until next time, guys, we will see you very, very soon. Bye, guys.
I want to be so long. Farewell to you, my friend. Goodbye for now, until we meet again. I said so long. Farewell to you, my friend. Goodbye for now, until we meet again. Oh, it's been great to play and sing together in the box, and now it's time to say goodbye. Ooh, so long, farewell to you, my friend. Goodbye, oh, for now, until we meet again. Goodbye for now, until we meet again.